So I just want to say right here. So I'm going to pause it right here. Um, this is freaking cool. This road here that they've done in City Skylines 1, all of these things it's kind of behind my face um, a little bit, but you've got this intersection here, and then it actually splits off right up here. You can kind of see it into an exit, and then two lanes keep going, and like this split here and this merge. It's very like smooth looking, which is not possible in City Skylines 1 without excessive mods. So I'm assuming these are all unmodded, which is great. That to see that built in. Standard kind of row houses, some skyscrapers, some miniature or small houses. Looks like maybe a gas station or a convenience store right there. I'm not expecting too much variety yet because it's not released yet, and it took 10 years for City Skylines 1 to get a bunch of variety in buildings. But there's a pretty good amount. Oh, okay. Well, I could stop it here too. Uh, but this is actually really cool as well. The at-grade crossings, as well as the lines on the roundabout. So it's got like the lines that go through automatically. You can tell it was designed with a roundabout in mind. That's really cool as a default behavior. Also, just how close. Oh, and they've also got a roundabout street marking right there, which is really cool. And it's different depending on which lane you're in, which is really neat. Trains going through the middle of roundabouts is something I've done in the past. In fact, I have one in the city that I'm going to be playing after this. Fun little fade back to nothingness, just nature. It's a good tagline. Nothing without you. Okay, that right there, that is cool. Building out a grid like that in one foul swoop, that is much needed. And I do know, spoiler alert, that the next video we're looking at is going to talk about these tools. So I'm going to leave that for the next one. That curve was pretty cool, and also this intersection is really really cool as a default, like as a as a default level detail. That is really fantastic. The way they built that road was also really cool. This is stuff that they've added in mods and through DLCs. Look like university type stuff coming back. Nuclear power plants, that's good to see. New tools. That was cool. Some variety in cars. You like to see that because the default game did not have a lot. And as we all know by now, it's coming out October 24th.
The roads crisscrossing your city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work, families, and communities, they are the veins and arteries of your
Love
city's
the
beating
lane
heart.
markers.
Every pathway you carve
And
out
the
shapes the routine
complicated
every
intersection
day
there.
and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow
Crescendo.
people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in City Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines.
Okay, that was something I think we discussed last time I was streaming. We were speculating on it. It is confirmed. It carries all your utilities under the roads, which just, thank you. Like, if people want to make it harder on themselves and have to have transmission lines, they can do that. But most modern cities kind of do it that way by default. just yeah.
It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce
Simple,
several of
straight. So the same three simple curve or simple, straight, whatever. Simple curve. So like you measure out 90 degrees or whatever. It does one curve. The curvy swervy road there,
the
and
most
then there's this continuous one, an endless series of bends, it says. And I'm wondering how that's different from the curvy swervy that we knew. And then, of course, we saw the
wished
grid
for
that
features.
they're going to show,
Other
which is
features
really
are
cool.
totally new.
Um,
Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3 clicks.
Yeah,
In no time,
that's cool.
you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to
I
your
personally
buzzing
am not
city
a
center.
fan
Just
of
like
big
that, you'll
grid
thread
cities,
traffic
but
along
for the
wide,
people who
curving
are,
streets and elegant,
this is really
elevated
cool.
highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks.
Love to
Intersections
see
have
new
been
bridge
overhauled
styles.
in city skylines too. Placement
Let's see what
rules
they
are
say
less
about this.
restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts.
This was very much needed. Very small, relatively speaking, roundabout with just a tiny little dot in the center, basically. Um, very, very much needed. And then they showed a bunch of intersections there, and that was cool to see. Just the variety of intersections they're building with default road tools, which look more complicated than generally what I build with my mods, which is good to see. Like I said,
To roaring multi-lane roundabouts. It's
also
never
good to
been
see
easier to
multi-lanes.
engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic.
And okay, I'm gonna go back because obviously traffic AI has changed here. So watch these cars that are exiting through the bottom here, as there's a car going through the center here.
Roundabouts. It's never been easier to
So
engineer uninterrupted
they just
streams
keep
of
going
traffic.
and they
That's
just
because
keep
roads will
going. That is something that you had to have uh, a mod for in terms of like Traffic Manager, President's Edition, or something else to make sure that they were not blocking off the quote unquote intersection, um, because those lanes weren't interfering with each other, right? Um, but you had to, in City Skylines 1, you had to have a mod to allow that to happen, otherwise the cars would stop.
be
So
configured
that's really good to
automatically,
see.
so vehicles can
Also,
enter and
the
exit the roundabout
size
safely. Simply
is
drop
really
your
cool.
preferred roundabout
And
over an existing intersection.
that is awesome. And it didn't make the intersection that much bigger. That was a big complaint of mine with City Skylines 1. Anytime you wanted to add a roundabout, it made the whole thing gigantic.
And
comparatively.
ta-da! A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks,
That's
and
not
directional
different.
no-turn traffic signs and
It's
stop
good
signs.
to see, but it's not
Erect
different.
sound barriers and construct parking lots. That's
Parking lots
another
are
new
new.
feature in City Skyline 2. And
So as the lady said, that is new. You had to have mods to do that, and it's nice to see. I mean, I kind of hate parking lots, just personally, and when I'm driving around and whatever. But it's good to see that they built this in because it is an important function of or an important part of city traffic management is also parking management. You can't just have people disappear their car and fold it into a suitcase like they do currently in City Skylines 1. So parking lots, that's cool. And it looks like, I mean, I'm not getting a lot out of this video, but it looks like it configures itself pretty much based on size.
And for returning players, it means
I would
Christmas
assume.
has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make
Those
your
aren't
city pretty,
necessarily new,
they can be useful too.
Good to
So
have.
those trees you use to line sidewalks, add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city.
So I knew that one was coming. Somebody put my finger up. They said it reduces noise pollution. They always have in City Skylines 1. They did as well. Hopefully you don't have to stack them nearly as much as you had to in City Skylines 1 to get any sort of effect. In order to do it in City Skylines 1, you had to have like a million trees stacked on top of each other. Doesn't look like they're doing that here. They have an actual like normal amount of trees. I mean, fairly tree filled, but they're not literally tree trunks stacked on tree trunks. So that is good. Hopefully they've optimized that a little bit for actual play.
Is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out. Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new replace tool. It's like the old upgrade
The
tool,
merging
but with
is kind
more
of cool.
freedom to refine your road network.
And
Change your
that
mind about a road?
right there that they did while she was talking about changing the road, where just adding an exit that easy, lickety split. That is amazing. That is highly needed. And it explains how they're getting a lot of these types of road interactions, which is fantastic. I'm very excited about that.
Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, click,
Bulldoze
click.
is the same.
That road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and nuanced in City Skylines too, and every pathway has a far-reaching impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition.
That, 1 second, sorry. Let me
Has a
back up here.
far-reaching impact.
This intersection right here with like, it's 1 lane, 2 lanes turning off. I don't know what's going on there. But it looks like maybe they can merge down. I don't know. It's just a crazy intersection. You, of course, have leaving and entering lanes. First of all, this is just not how I would design this, but it is really cool to see this type of interchange going on. And then you've got, even below it, you've got another thing going on here, merging with this, something splitting off here. And it's all very smooth looking, and that is very exciting to see. Sorry, that's what I wanted to point out in this. It's very complicated. You have a lot going on. And in City Skylines 1, this would have taken, a relatively inexperienced road builder like myself with mod tools easily an hour. Like, I could, and then just messing around with it, little tweaks, it would take me an insane amount of time.
Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
And just a nice glamour shot of the city. Traffic AI. So we saw a little bit of this in the road tools, video, and probably in the official gameplay trailer. But I do want to see what they have to say about traffic AI, because obviously that was a huge issue. Probably half my major mods, by which I mean the ones that fundamentally change the game, are big, all-encompassing mods. About half of them are dedicated purely to the AI of traffic, or public transit, or trucks, or optimizing like service area type stuff. It all has to do with AI, like traffic AI problems, and vehicle AI problems. So this is the last one, like I said, that I wanted to look at. And let's go into it, because I am excited to see this one. I have not seen this one at all yet. And I don't know what's going to happen.
People are the lifeblood of your city. As they move through it, they set the city's pulse. Not in the cold rhythms of code, but with the variability and pace of a real city.
I mean,
so you should expect the same order and chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once. It's a level of vibrant realism you've never seen before, and it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance, but ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal.
Okay. I was going to let her finish her sentence. 100% correct. It wasn't just based on shortest travel distance, though. I think there was a little bit more to it than that, because you could get people to take a different road that maybe wasn't shorter by really upping the theoretical speed limit and really making the shorter route a really slow speed limit. So like if you had a really short route, but they could only go 5 miles an hour, and a slightly longer or a decently longer route that could go unlimited miles per hour, they would almost always try to take the longer route, even if that route had just crap tons of traffic. So like it wasn't smart enough to realize that the road they thought was faster was not actually faster, but it was smart enough to recognize that faster speed limits meant that you could theoretically get to your destination faster. But yeah, in general, the pathfinding was terrible, and as I mentioned just a minute ago, like half of my mods are related to AI problem solving.
Pathfinding has changed. In City Skylines 2, four main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there. The path with the lowest cost is the path they choose.
Nothing
But
new there.
how people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the four pathfinding costs.
Perfect.
Time is usually the most important pathfinding cost. Everyone will pick their quickest route to their destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there. Easy
Alright.
parking is actually the deciding factor for some people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money.
Okay,
That's
good.
another pathfinding cost: money. Fuel, parking, and public transport tickets can seriously add up. So it's a factor in where people choose to go and
Awesome.
how they get there. The final factor influencing pathfinding is behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and speeding can reduce travel times, lower fuel consumption, and avoid some of the inconvenient aspects of travel. To keep pathfinding costs low, people will reroute if something happens on their journey. For example,
That last sentence right there, very key. They will reroute if something happens on their journey. I mean, all the other stuff is great, and it's to be expected that this type of improvement would be made. Going from some game, the game that was originally made in 2014, computers were a lot less powerful. They're trying to simulate up to 100,000, in some cases several 100,000 people. But one of my biggest complaints was one of the easiest ways to solve your traffic problem was to delete all the cars or do something similar after you had implemented your traffic fixing solution, because unless you had deleted the road that they were traveling on, people would just keep going down the same path, even if you had or they would try to go down the same path, even if you had really fundamentally changed the way it interacted with everything. So yeah, between weighing time, Traffic Manager has a riskiness behavior modifier that it will modify their internal AI, and so to see that built into the game is really nice. Obviously, they took a lot of keys and cues from Traffic Manager and some of these other mods, which is good. Like I said, you'd hopefully see that in an improvement in a game. So it is nice to see that. It's not unexpected, but very, very nice. Also, the variety of cars. It looks like they got some more realistic models. Obviously, that's a smart car type model. Police cruiser. It looks like a standard police cruiser. They have a nice fire truck model, a couple different cars in the background there, two vans that are the same but different colors. Um, there's a rolled over car though, and obviously the fire truck and police officer here are responding to this, which is blocking off traffic, and that's also really cool to see that that sort of thing can happen and they can block off the road.
if they get caught behind a traffic accident that takes too long to clear, they'll find another way to get where they're going. Hang on.
Good.
Traffic accidents? Afraid so.
Good.
Drivers can lose control and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings.
It's not
Yikes.
ideal,
You
but
see, things
it's
like
good.
wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision. But it's actually poor road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic Info View takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic so you can resolve problems.
Okay, not gonna pay attention to what she's looking at here for a second. I'm gonna look at this map legend. So they have parking income right on your road tool view. That is kind of nice. Just a quality of life thing. Also, parking capacity. That's also good to see. Um, Especially for people who are like not just bikes on YouTube or something. They're going to be very interested in the discrepancy between how many people are actually parked and what the capacity is, because you're going to have excess capacity just because some places are going to need more people parked there at a certain time. But anytime they're parked, say anytime you're parked at the store, right, you're not parked at your house. But the other things, the parking lots and building colors, maintenance depots, maintenance vehicles, and then of course the road condition. That's really nice to see, that sort of thing. And it's also nice to see that they're making you take care of your roads, because in City Skylines 1, it's a general cost, but like it's not a thing that you really pay attention to.
Quickly. Deep simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how people choose their path? That is all.
That was a cool detail. I'm gonna go over it. I gotta go back over it.
Living,
That was cool.
breathing city. But how people choose their
So see that the car had its brights off. The bus had its brights on. As they got closer, turned the brights off, and then as they passed the truck that we're following here, turned their brights on. Um, it's such a dumb little detail. It really does not change how you play the game necessarily, right? But that is the kind of detail that I am hoping to see more of out of the game developers. It's a small detail that makes your city really feel like a real city. Right, here's a guy driving down a relatively not busy road at night with a bunch of trees. There's going to be deer crossing, whatever. You want visibility. Adds massive amounts of immersion, and it threw me off when I saw it, because I was not expecting to see an immersion detail in a traffic AI video. Um, so really excited to see that.
path?
Um,
That is always a response to the
yeah.
world around them. A world of your creation.
All right, and that was it. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you do, Alfredo here says you should subscribe. Or maybe check out this video that YouTube recommends. Well, go on. Why don't you do it?